Hey guys, hope you are all doing well today. So we have a matchup between the High Elves going up against the forces of the Empire. The Empire is being commanded by Rinnzler and the High Elves are being commanded by Morr. This was a battle from the recent Showdown of the Lords qualifier in which Morr did end up winning, and this was one of the battles on his path to victory. Interesting little fact, Morr actually didn't have this DLC prior, or the Grom and the Paunch DLC prior to the start of the tournament, and in the first round he was assigned an Archmage as his lord. Basically, for those of you who don't know how the tournament works, you're assigned random lords, which you are going to have to play with against another randomly assigned lord of another player, and basically it just causes some interesting matchups. And so Morr was assigned an Archmage in the first round of the tournament, and so he decided to go ahead and buy the DLC. And this battle was in the semifinals, and he was once again assigned an Archmage, in which he decided to make best use of a lot of the DLC units that he has pretty much never used prior to this tournament. So you can see the High Elves going with a couple Rangers on the front line, some Archers along with Lothar and Seaguar to make up the Archer lines, a Mage of Life coming in with Regrowth, a Archmage of Death, of course, coming in with the new DLC. We have Spirit Leech and Soul Blight, not new DLC, it's pretty old, but apparently he hadn't gotten it yet. He's probably not a frequent High Elf player. And we have some War Lines of Krace. He was very excited to try these things out, so we have 2 units of the War Lines of Krace, one of which are the Rahagras Pride, along with 2 units of Silver Helms. And that pretty much makes up the High Elf army. Gonna be pretty effective at chewing through the Empire front lines, and though they may have a bit of trouble with their artillery. Of course, the Archer line can make quick work of things like mortars, but the question is, will they be able to do it quick enough, because mortars are really effective against the relatively tight formation of those archers. For the Empire, we have Spearmen making up the flanks, some Flagellants along with the Sigmar's Son, so an unbreakable front line, except for those Spearmen. And in the back lines, we have some Swordsmen, some Crossbowmen, and Spearmen again, rounding out the flanks, some Empire Knights in the back, and 2 units of Knights of the Blazing Sun. Now, Knights of the Blazing Sun are actually a really good pick in this specific matchup. Both players actually knew what lord the other was assigned, and so Rinnzler did know that Morr was coming in with the Archmage of Death, and that likely meant endless Spirit Leeches. And so the Knights of the Blazing Sun actually come in with 25% missile resistance, and so the Spirit Leeches will not be as effective on them as other cavalry units. So a great pick from Rinnzler for bringing those guys. We have the Huntsman General as the assigned lord for Rinnzler, along with, he brought a Light Wizard bringing Nets, Shem's Burning Gaze, and Barona's Time Warp. And we have Gotrek, of course, to take care of any large units, such as a dragon in case he ever decides to land. And yeah, he's going to be quite a powerful anti-large tool in this army. And with that, let's get this battle started. So initially, a part of the High Elf mobility is hidden in the forest, and they can do quite a bit of damage with a surprise attack, say into the flanks of some Spearmen or Knights of the Blazing Sun. Seems like actually the High Elves have given up their momentary surprise, but I'm not sure if the Empire has noticed it yet. But of course, with a Sar charge into some Spearmen, or potentially even the mortars, it could be quite disastrous for the forces of the Empire. Yep, looks like a rear charge coming into some Spearmen, but the Knights of the Blazing Sun do react in time and do get a decent block into a lot of the War Lines along with the Silver Helms, and some Spearmen are probably going to return or get into their backs and shut them down. We have a net going down on, looks like some Silver Helms, and of course, yeah, they were rear charged by the Spearmen, so they will lose a little bit of HP, but it seems like a regrowth is going to be popped on them, giving them back a little bit of HP. Unfortunately, 1 unit of the Knights of the Blazing Sun is gone, and so that's 1 less tool to shut down the Archer back lines. Not sure where the other You know if knights went? Okay, so there's a pretty large engagement going on here, where the Rahagras Pride along with some Silverhelms are fighting off the Knights of Blazing Sun. Some Empire Knights and some Spearmen are joining the fight, so the Empire will have the advantage in that fight. And now the Star Dragon is surrounded by a couple Spearmen. He did manage to rout one of the crossbowmen, but now he's surrounded by Gotrek Spearmen, and likely a Barona's Time Warp coming down. Is that a Barona's Time Warp? Yep. But unfortunately the dragon does manage to escape, so not the greatest usage of that spell. Some Spearmen going in for, Silverhelms going in for a charge into Crossbowmen along with the Warlines of Krace. Definitely a great play from Morr. Shutting down the range of the Empire is going to be vital to winning this matchup. The mortars are already gone, and so even though the archer line is in danger of, say, these flagellants, they won't really have to worry about artillery fire as excuse me. And now we have the Archmage of Death fighting the Light Wizard. Of course, the Archmage will likely be winning that fight as he is on horseback. And how's the rest of the fight going? So Rangers going up against Swordsmen and Spearmen. I do believe Rangers are the superior infantry unit since they do have anti-infantry bonuses, but when they're going up against 2 units of infantry, I'm not too sure how they will fare. The Dragon going in for some cycle charging upon the Huntsman General, but he's proving to be a little elusive. And yeah, definitely being quite a tough guy to track down. He did take a huge hit from the Star Dragon and is currently sitting at 964 HP, but Gotrek once again comes in for the rescue. A lot of these war lines are doing a good job of mopping up the Empire backlines, ensuring that these crossbowmen never get a moment of fire into the Star Dragon, since that's really the only answer the Empire has for a Star Dragon in the sky. Otherwise, it can basically just cycle charge a lot of the Empire units to death, especially this Huntsman General, who is very, very squishy and unfortunately hasn't really used a lot of his ammunition. He is currently broken, and a beautiful net on the Star Dragon preventing him from chasing off the Huntsman General, but the Archmage of Death is going to fulfill that task. Maybe? Actually no, seems like the Archmage is going to be surrounded by some Empire Knights, and so nobody really to ensure the Huntsman General will be fully routed off the map. The High Elf backlines are relatively spread out and in tatters, but with 4 units of archers, they definitely possess some great killing capabilities. The Empire, on the other hand, do look a bit favorable since a lot of their units are relatively closely grouped, and if the dragon ever decides to land, Gotrek is close by to provide some anti-large aid. A breath attack going into some of these Knights of the Blazing Sun, not doing the most damage, but these crossbowmen have returned, so they will be getting a couple good shots into the back of the Star Dragon. The Light Wizard was gooned out, but unfortunately, Gotrek once again does hop on top of the Star Dragon. Oh man, Gotrek is doing so much damage alongside these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Doing massive amounts of damage. I'm always surprised by the amount of damage Gotrek can do, but yeah, he is one of the best dedicated anti-large single entity units in the game, so I guess you can't really complain about that. The Huntsman General has returned to the fight, sitting at only 172 HP. What? Huh. I have never seen, well, I'm not saying never, but like, seeing a Lord return from 172 HP is quite rare. And the Huntsman General does get scared away once again just by the fact that a dragon is flying up above. And I think this is kind of a big mistake from Morr. Just kill off the Huntsman General. The Empire will be taking a relatively big leadership loss in leadership loss. And you never have to worry about the Huntsman General doing some peppering fire into the back of the Star Dragon, which can add up over the course of a battle. And, okay, well, now he's fully gone. He's shattered, so don't really have to worry about that too much. And now the Archer line of the High Elves is in full effect, going after these crossbowmen, firing in at spearmen, mortar crews, really anything they can get their hands upon, they are trying to kill off. Seems like the balance of power is slightly Empire favored right now, probably due to the fact that the Star Dragon has just taken so much damage from Gotrek, and I think the best thing Morr can do right now is just cycle charge and stay away from Gotrek. Shoot Gotrek into the ground and make sure that he can never hop on top of this Star Dragon. The archer line of the High Elves is just so deadly, knocking out spearmen constantly, shooting at Gotrek as well. Ooh, but the Star Dragon is gonna maybe take another hit from Gotrek. Nope. The Star Dragon does escape just in time. Lothar and Seaguard charging into melee now. They're not the worst melee combatant. And if you can get some cycle charging from the... yeah, so the Star Dragon doing some great cycle charging, preventing the rest of the Empire units from joining the fight. And the High Elf archer line should do a good deal of damage to Gotrek and those spearmen. Ooh, but the Star Dragon is gonna... seems like a breath attack going into some spearmen. No, Gotrek actually. A pretty good breath attack as well. Not sure how much HP it took off, but Gotrek is a good target for the breath attack. Lothar and Seaguard actually winning their fight against spearmen, though some more Empire spearmen have come to back them up. And now the High Elf archer line is running on fumes. They barely have any ammo left. The one unit that does have ammo was rear charged by some Knights of the Blazing Sun. Now it's pretty much the entire Empire army is going to be based around Gotrek. The High Elves have made a valiant comeback. That archer line, as I mentioned before, is just so deadly if not shut down. And now it's pretty much the entire army. The entire Empire army is just centered on Gotrek. He can definitely make quick work of this weakened Star Dragon, but if a regrowth comes down upon him, that could prove to be deadly. Now let's watch the final moments of this fight, and Gotrek, will he be able to catch the Star Dragon? Nope. Gets intercepted by some of these archers. Infantry is not the ideal fight for this dwarf. He will make quick work of like archers, but again, he is liable to just being surrounded and completely killed off. He is unbreakable though, so I'm not sure if High Elves really have the tools to take him out. But great play from Morr, just making sure the rest of the Empire army does not get a chance to reinforce him, and that he is really the only thing left in the fight. In which case, you know, they can just surround him with archers, maybe potentially get his breath attacks and cycle charges into Gotrek. Seems like another breath attack coming in. It mostly missed. It did a little bit of damage, but... ooh, and the Star Dragon is diving upon Gotrek. That might be a huge mistake and likely will decide the fate of the battle. So now I'd say High Elves are favored due to the fact that they just have so many infantry or archer units left, but the fact that the Star Dragon has chosen to engage Gotrek just means that they might potentially lose their greatest weapon, and I'm not sure the rest of the High Elf archers will be able to win this fight, and with that, army loss does take place. No, it's only the Mage of Life actually left. And Gotrek will definitely make very, very quick work of that mage. Ooh, some archers have recovered. Nope. They're gone. And so, with the dragon sitting at 375 HP, yeah, he's probably not returning to the fight. Gotrek might have finally done it for the Empire. He might have single-handedly won this fight. I think the Star Dragon charging him head-on and sticking in a fight was definitely the move that destroyed the High Elves. Though actually, I'm not sure if that was the attacking rule though. I'm not sure if I didn't catch that, if there are like other archers on the field that could have charged him, or it was just the Star Dragon left in the fight, in which case the Star Dragon would have to engage. So I'm not sure if Morr was forced to do that, but leaving the Star Dragon in melee with Gotrek was definitely the final decider of this battle, and looks like the Star Dragon will probably not be returning to the fight, so let's speed up as the final engagement does happen, where Gotrek and the Mage of Life will face off. The Mage of Life is on foot, so Gotrek's anti-large prowess won't be put to too much use, but Gotrek of course hits hard with 70 melee attack. Will definitely make quick work of this mage, and with that, the mage is broken and the Empire win this very, very close and well fought battle. So let's check out how each unit did. And let's just say, like, Morr definitely performed very, very well, considering a lot of these units were like his first or second time using them. This was definitely a very well fought battle from the High Elves. And on his side, looks like the Archmage of Death, a lot of the Spirit Leeches may not have gone, actually I'm not sure if Spirit Leeches kill off models, but the Archmage of Death didn't get as many kills as I expected. Yeah, I don't think the Spirit Leeches kill off models actually, so yeah, not one kill doesn't mean too much. But the Rangers of the High Elves definitely did a wonderful job of chewing through the Empire front lines, along with those war lines with their anti-infantry bonuses. Did a great job of mopping up the crossbowmen and the rest of the Empire back lines. The mortars were really not given time to fire and do damage to the archer lines, and so definitely great playing from the High Elves, but of course Gotrek, a one-man army. He is just so tough to kill, he's unbreakable, he's anti-large, and so he is one tough nut to crack. Rinnzler, on the other hand, definitely played well with the tools he had. The front line of the Empire, of course, was unbreakable, and so they have a decent number of kills themselves. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun were also a wonderful pick, as I mentioned in the beginning, and they did a good job of shutting down the Rahagara's Pride along with some Silverhelms in the beginning of the battle. But unfortunately, I think they were shut down a little bit too quickly, and they definitely could have been a nuisance for the High Elf Archer line, which was the biggest weapon for the High Elves in that battle. Anyways, it was definitely a very well fought battle on both sides. Both armies way overperformed what I expected them to, and yeah, just very, very good battle, very close, and hopefully we'll get to see similar battles like these in future Showdown of the Lords tournaments. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this battle. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.